Some of you need to stop acting surprised that crap is hitting the fan at the very beginning stages of your business. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you are watching on YouTube right now, yes, I've got new glasses. Actually, why did I just take them off? I don't know. Okay, let me put it back on. Aren't they cute? So here's what I figured out. This is the color I wear the most, and I've had no glasses in pink. Why? Why have I not done that? And so I'm pretty stoked about my new glasses. They are from, because I know somebody's going to ask, the iSmith, which is like family owned, smaller place here in Kansas City. What brand are they? Hang on. Hang on. See, the thing is, I got to put on my glasses to be able to see these really small words. I don't know what brand they are. Anyway, iSmith here in Kansas City. Super sweet people. I'm so excited about my pink glasses. Okay, now that we got through that, let's talk podcast. Okay, so I just got out of a call with we've got a whole group of people going through my business breakthrough course. We're about halfway through. We have like 12 different mindset meetings. And I think today was number 5 or 6. So about halfway through. Anyway, I got on a topic today that I thought to myself, why don't you take this to the podcast? Because I think there are probably plenty of other people who are out in the wild who also need to hear about this particular topic. So basically, I was telling the men and women that are in my business breakthrough that a lot of times during the summer months, people pull back a little bit from business. And you know what? There's a season for that, right? Especially if you have an established business, like you have worked hard to be able to pull back all you want. There are seasons where God wants you to pull back to focus on other things. If that's the case, pull on back. There are other times, however, when we're pulling back during the summer months because there's lots going on. You know, our kids are home. We want to take vacations. There's plenty of opportunity to go to the lakes, all those things. And I want you to be able to do that. Like you need to be building your business to fit your life, not trying to wrap your life around said business. Okay. So like, I want you doing that. However, what I've been noticing with a lot of my clients is that there is a pulling back that is happening right now based on the fact that they're having some hard weeks, some hard months. June was like our first full month inside of this particular program. We had a lot of people who had like unexpected personal issues come up. They had, a really tough, I'm putting that in parentheses, not because I'm making fun of that or, saying that that's not appropriate. I'm just saying that's the verbiage people are using is it was a really tough or a really busy June. And look, I get it. I totally get it. There are some seasons that are just like that. But what we're noticing is that seemed to be a theme for a lot of our clients who are in particular, the very beginning stages of business. And so what I talked about on that call today and what I want to bring to the podcast today, and probably not to the same depth that, I gave to our paying clients because they get a whole nother side of me. But I think some of you really need to understand that there is a season for pulling back, slowing down, etc. But also, some of you need to stop acting surprised that crap is hitting the fan at the very beginning stages of your business. When you are in a growing season, when you are in a building season. Okay. So in the very beginning stages of business, you are literally building something out of nothing. You are. It's like for those of you that have had a baby, like you grew a whole human who you delivered out of your body, but it started, in this little tiny infancy stage and it grew and grew and grew and grew. Right. And so like the business, the same thing happens. There's the idea, there's the seed being planted of a business. It starts real small. And then there's all these things that have to be added to it in order for the business to grow. An email list has to be started. An opt-in has to be created. You've got to have a way to communicate with people. You have to understand how to market to them. You need to be setting up your social media accounts. You need to be making sure that you have secured a domain for your business. Like there's all of those things that need done. And the thing is the majority of those things are one and dones. Okay. Yes, you're still going to need to post to social. Yes, you're still going to need to send emails. Yes, you're still, and by the way, let me just give out a freebie real quick. I didn't even plan on this. Let me give you a freebie real quick. If you're somebody who needs help on emails, I've got my 50 favorite subject lines that converted. We sent out a team with over 7 million emails last year. When my team told me that, I wanted to throw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But we've also figured out our top, yep, that's right. Our top 50 email subject lines that convert. So if you're somebody that sends out emails for your business, and if you go to jenniferallwood.com/subject, you can have my freebie. But anyway, the majority of those things in the beginning are kind of one and dones, right? You set up your Facebook page, you don't have to do that again. Yes, you have to maintain it, you have to post on it, all the things, but it's one and done in terms of now it's set up. Okay. So I think sometimes we forget that. And because in the beginning stages, a lot of times it feels like, okay, and I'm going to say this in the most tender way possible, it feels like everything kind of gets thrown at us sometimes in the beginning. It feels like the wheels fall off the bus falls off the road, everything that can go wrong is, and before you know it, you've taken your eyes off of the building of the business. If you're seeing me like mess around right now, it's because did you guys shed? I shed so bad. I mean, I always have, and it bothers me like when I shed and I can feel a hair on my skin, and then I just feel like a crazy person until I find said hair and get it off. Okay, sorry, squirrel. So if you are someone who is in the very like infancy stages or the beginning stages of growing your small business, and I don't care if it's a brick and mortar, if it's a whatever, online, what have you. If you feel like, man, things have really been hard, and so I haven't gotten to work on my business as much as I want to. I really had to pull away to deal with a lot of personal stuff. I really had to kind of pull back. Listen, first of all, you're not alone. So big hugs. Second of all, okay, now chop, chop, like we've got to get on with it. And I know that that can sound uncaring, unfeeling, or all the things, but I want to give you just a little bit of the background of why this happens. Okay. So that you're not on the other end of my podcast right now being shocked about your situation. So I personally believe that in the beginning stages of a business, that the enemy of your soul will come in, and that is when he is going to try to stop everything in its tracks. Okay. And I need you to understand from a spiritual perspective why this happens. Because yes, some of you are dealing with family issues, you're dealing with sickness, you're dealing with some money things, you're dealing with messy things, you've got, drama, trauma, all the things possibly going on, okay, in the last couple of months. And so you've really pulled back this summer. But for a lot of you, what I need for you to understand is what you're battling is not flesh and blood. You're not actually fighting with your mother-in-law. It's actually just a spiritual battle. And so many of you, when you're in the infancy stages of building your business, you've got to wrap your head around the fact that things may be getting thrown at you, but you need to almost look at it like, okay, in a way, it's almost normalish in the beginning stages of business. The enemy of your soul does not want you building anything. Okay, he doesn't. And it has nothing to do with you or with me, really. It has more to do with your faith, because if he can get you distracted enough from your business to let that thing kind of flounder and spiral out of control and die off, then you're completely discouraged, right? And because we don't get to put business in a box over here and love in a box over here and marriage in a box over here and kid, like because it's all intermingled, like discouragement in one area of our life affects all others. So if the enemy of your soul can get you discouraged enough about your business, it carries over into other parts. Don't tell me it doesn't. Okay, I'll arm wrestle you on this one. It does. They're all intermingled. Okay. So what happens is in the beginning stages, the enemy knows if I can discourage this person from continuing, let me distract her, let me discourage her, and then the business doesn't grow. Here's what happens, because it really has nothing to do so much with you as with the domino effect of if you build the thing, what can happen? All right. The enemy knows that once you gather some momentum, it is so much harder to stop you. And so it's easier to come in and discourage and distract before momentum ever even happens. So if you think about like your business in terms of almost like a snowball. For those of you that are listening today, if you live somewhere in the Midwest or East Coast where you get snow, or I guess in California last year because hashtag climate change, not weather modification. Anyway. Okay. If you live somewhere where there's snow, you know how like you make a snowball If you picture yourself like standing on the top of a hill and you've got a snowball, and if you set that stinker down in the snow and you start to roll it, it will pick up more snow, and it starts going down the hill faster, right? The snowball grows in size. The momentum is going to take it down the hill. It's, going to get bigger and go faster by the time it gets to the bottom. In fact, like if you've ever gone sledding or anything, it's the people that are heavier that go quicker. It's like when the thing is bigger, the momentum is more. And so in the beginning stages, when you're growing something and you're building something, when it starts to grow, momentum can really start to happen. Well, it's so hard like to stop something once it's in motion, right? And even I believe for the enemy. And by in motion, here's what I mean, because at the bottom of that hill with the snowball, here's what could be waiting. Your business is growing, your business is getting bigger, your business is gaining some momentum. Suddenly you need to hire help. You're providing a breakthrough for that girl's family now. Suddenly you're able to tithe more because you're making more. Suddenly your family's able to have more impact. Suddenly you're able to put your kiddos in private school and you've never been able to afford that before. So like there is a domino effect to growing your business. And so the enemy cannot see all of that. Okay. He's not, what's the word? Is omnipotent, omni something like the Lord is. However, I do believe that the enemy is smart enough, cunning enough to understand that if he can get you in the beginning easier than having to come in when you've already got momentum and try to take it away and discourage and distract you then. By the way, this is the same reason the enemy comes after our children when they're young. If I can get them to hate the church, hate their parents, not believe in God, get offended by people, get offended by whatever, then it's so much easier just to keep them on that trajectory than if they do X, Y, and Z and some momentum is happening. And then, the enemy comes in at later stages. It's often in the infancy stages of things that the enemy comes in to distract, to discourage, and to steal, kill, and destroy. Okay. So if you are someone in the beginning stages of your business and you wonder why the wheels have fallen off the bus, in the month of June or June and even July so far or whatever, like, listen, stop being shocked. This is normal. Let me give you guys another link. Okay. If you go to jenniferallwood.com slash, give me a second. Is it bonus? Bonus episode. jenniferallwood.com/bonus episode. I have a podcast episode with Angelica Duncan, and we recorded this a couple of years ago. But her and I were having this conversation about why in the very beginning stages of business is resistance like so common. And she had just such a really great perspective on this. She was talking about how on that podcast episode, how anytime you're building something, you're literally like stirring up the ground. You're the spiritual ground. You're stirring up the earth. You're mixing things up. There's digging going on. There's excavating, etc. And that, she said, stirs up critters. You can go listen to that podcast. It's great the way she phrases it. And what's interesting is like, I know at our house in Arizona, Jason and I have 2 Airbnbs. So the one that's in Arizona is on a street that has a cul-de-sac at the end of it. It's like a one-way in, one-way out street. And so we don't live on the actual brown part of the cul-de-sac, but on the street going up to the cul-de-sac. Well, they're building 2 new houses on the cul-de-sac. So because they're building 2 new houses, the ground has been stirred up, right? And so we're seeing a lot of wildlife in Arizona right now. We've had a snake in our garage. We've had a snake on the front steps or, the front drive or whatever. This is on our Bougie in the Desert. If you don't follow that on Instagram, you totally should. And it's nothing that, the firefighters can't come and take care of because that's what they actually do. They come and grab the snake and take it away. But it's because the ground is being stirred up next to us that the things that are there, the critters are all being stirred. They have to leave. They have to find someplace else to go. So on that podcast episode with Angelica, again, jenniferallwood.com/bonus episode, she talks about how when you're building a business, like you're stirring things up and you're stirring up the critters and what happens so that you're not shocked. Because here's what I'm afraid of is happening. I'm afraid that some of you ladies are in those very infant building stages, those very beginning building stages. And you're saying to yourself, well, crap's hitting the fan here. I must not be meeting to do this. This must not be for me. Maybe this is God's way of shutting a door. By the way, maybe it is. Possibly not, though. Probably not, though. What I want you to think of instead is, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. Apparently, according to Jen Allwood, this happens a lot when people are in the beginning stages. The enemy comes in to distract and discourage. And again, it's not because he cares so much about you, but that domino effect. He wants to still kill and destroy the potential of what your business is going to be in the future. And so if you'll look at it like that, if you'll look at it as that we don't fight against flesh and blood, our fight is in the spirit. This is a spiritual battle for what's going to happen or the potential of what could happen if you do not give up, if you refuse to stop, if you get right back in the saddle, and if you quit using all the things that are happening as an excuse as to why you continue to stop. See, because some of you, it happens to you every time you start getting the tiniest bit of momentum in your business. So you keep thinking it'll be different next year. It'll be different next time. I'll focus on it again when whatever. Listen, you're always going to have crazy at the beginning of your business, some of you. I'm not trying to prophesy that over you, but I can tell you after training over 20,000 women in my programs, I see it time and time again. So stop being shocked. Okay, this is normal. This is normal. So I'm recording this, by the way, on 7/11, which Easton Allwood, if you're watching, he is, because he edits this for our YouTube, is getting married next year on 7/11, National Slurpee Day. If you know anybody that works at 7/11, message me. I want to get in touch with them. I want to give my kids a Slurpee bar at their wedding. Wouldn't that be so much fun? Okay. So anyhow, when I'm recording this, it's 7/11. All right. We are just a little over halfway into 2024. And I need for some of you to get back up and get in the saddle. You have literally fallen off the building of your business this summer. Kids have been home, things have been going on. You've taken trips. It was the 4th of July. I get it. I get it. But listen, right after this season, it's going to be kids are back in school. You don't want to miss the Friday night football games. Fall is your favorite season, which by the way, it is mine. You've got an anniversary trip. So then it's going to be that. Then it's going to be, you're just going to keep kicking the can to the next season. Then it's going to be the holiday season. Then it's going to be, oh my gosh, kids are getting out of school. And there's never a good time. It's just like, when's the right time to have a baby? There's never a perfect time for that. There's never a perfect time for growing the business. There isn't. But some of you need to hear that it is normal to have stuff going crazy when you're in the beginning stages. Please get back at it. Because when you have a business that has gotten some momentum, has had some growth, you're also then going to be in a position where you can't just put it on the back burner and walk away from it for days, weeks, and months at a time anymore, unless you are somebody like me who has a team of people working for you. Does that make sense? Once the business has some legs under it, you don't get to just push pause. You have clients then. They need you to show up. And I need for you to get used to that right now in the building stages. The majority of you need to be doing something every single day, focusing on your business. And you can write to me and say, but Jen, what about, the 7th day of rest, the Sabbath? Okay, yes, that's fine. Okay, I'll give you that. But stop using everything in your life as an excuse to why you're hitting the pause button, because you're not ever going to get a season where the enemy's not coming for you, trying to ruin your momentum, or life isn't happening, because it's always going to be. So I want you to walk away encouraged today. My hope was not to shame you if you have kind of fallen off the wagon. My hope was just to help you to get back up and help you to see that this is normal. It's not just you. It happens. I mean, if I go to launch something new, usually my team, we just now know there will be things kind of thrown in, it's like if you picture back to when we used to watch cartoons on Saturday mornings growing up, and the cartoon characters would have the toolbox of tools, and they're throwing the wrenches and the hammers and the nails and all the things out. It's like that. It's what the enemy, I think, often does. Things just come at you in the beginning. It's okay. It's okay. you've had a moment. Okay. Now some of you need somebody to put their arm around you, go, okay, sis, now we got to get back up and we got to get back going again. Okay. So pick right back up where you left off. Quit being weird about it. You don't need to send an email and explain your absence. Just start emailing again. You don't need to come back to social media and have, a dissertation of where you've been for the last 6 weeks. Just start doing social again. Start making sales again. Start making progress again. And make sure that you are doing things so that in this season, you are not letting the enemy win this battle again. I don't know who this is for today, but if this is for you, let me know if you would in the comments if you're on YouTube. And if it's not for you, I guarantee you know somebody who's in the building stages of their business. Would you just forward this podcast episode to someone who could really use some encouragement today? I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to put back on my cute pink glasses as we end the podcast today. Much love. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Easton, I felt that yawn coming like the whole episode.